Hello there and welcome to the final instalment of To Market, Channel M's documentary about Ashton's historic market hall. Last time we covered the birth of the market right up to the early 1990s, and coming up today, our historic journey continues as we cover that fateful day when the market traders' lives were changed forever. All former memories lost, and with nothing but rubble on their hands, could the market be born again from its charred remains? Yes, there have been many historic dates since the market moved to its present location in the year 1830, but none more so than Tuesday the 24th of May 2004. That was the date that disaster struck in the early hours of the morning. At around 3 a.m, the fire service based in Stalybridge received a call activated by the alarm system installed within Ashton's market hall. Acting swiftly, they arrived in Ashton to be greeted by flames and smoke billowing from the roof of the Grade 2 listed building. At the peak of the fire, a 90-strong force was in attendance, and with the whole roof destroyed, the interior of the hall was one massive fireball, contained only by the outer walls. And what now for the market traders who've been sleeping soundly in their beds, totally unaware of the catastrophe awaiting?
I heard what I first assumed to be an explosion in Manchester, which was a loud bang or boing and then two reverberant sounds following it. It's almost certain now that hearing that at about 3:20, I heard the bell going through the floors of the clock tower, coming off its anchorage and going through 1-2 floors and then onto the ground. About 3:25, I got a call from my duty officer who'd been called out by the council's central control that handled the fire alarm, and he was quite hysterical, basically, almost incoherent, kept saying, it's gone, what's gone? The market.
My brother phoned me and said, Andrew, the market's on fire. So I'm thinking to himself, right, is it a fire in the corner of the market? Is it a small fire? Is it contained? Or so I'm asking him, and he said, no, it's gone. The whole thing is gone.
I was lying in bed. I was just about to get up, and one of our suppliers said, Barry, I've been past the market and there's all smoke coming from the market. By the time I got down here, it was blazing. All the roof was on fire.
Just one big orange flame coming out the top.
It was every bit as bad as it had been described to me.
Our store, with all the sugar products on it there, was burning 3 days later.
I don't think that memory will ever go.
It went as far as requiring the use of 12 engines and various special appliances, including some that you can probably see behind me, the aerial appliances, to control the fire. We've now controlled it and contained it to its original building. We're now reducing the attendance, but we'll be here for the rest of the day. We've currently got 5 engines and a couple of special appliances, and we're just damping down, turning over, containing the scene and making it safe.
About 4 o'clock this morning, really? We could see the flames from where we live on, near the War Memorial up there, yeah. They'll be all upset, especially the elderly people, you know, because it's a famous market, this.
I can't believe how it could have just gone in so short a time. All those businesses and all that, the workforce there, all unemployed now. I just don't know, I'm just stunned, absolutely stunned.
Thankfully, we have no injuries that have been reported for the incident. However, the impact on the local community and the people who actually had businesses in there is considerable.
Devastated, shocked, feel sorry for the traders.
At this time, people are saying, why has this happened? What's going on? How's it affecting the quality of my life? And those are all spiritual questions.
Well, this is obviously a very serious and devastating blow, but all we would ask is that people keep in touch and don't forget where Ashton is. The market will be rebuilt, and we will come through this.
myself and a little knot of market's officers, my staff, stood on the far side of Wellington Road, just absolutely dumbfounded. It was one of those things that you didn't imagine in your worst nightmare.
It was just, everybody's walking about, nobody, all the stallholders, nobody knew what to do, and it was just, we were stood across the road from the market, and we were just really upset.
We stood around with other traders. I saw men crying on each other's shoulder who had businesses in here. Staff were also crying.
At the end of the day, what can you do? Because it was like we did have 2 businesses at the time. So it was like everything we owned, when we went to bed, when we got up, it was gone.
Very emotional time for a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people on the outside world really understand how the traders felt.
Absolutely, like the fire, gutted, really, yeah.
After standing here for about half an hour, it's obvious that they weren't going to be able to save the market. You were numb, really, about it. I mean, it was one of those things that was impossible to happen. You know, after working in the market for 50 years, you can't ever imagine it being on fire.
It had been a building that we knew to work in for quite a long time, 10, 15, 20 years. Some people had worked here. And as I say, in my case, it had been a building I'd known for best part of 50 years as a customer and visiting Ashton. And to see it literally disappearing before our eyes was almost unspeakable.
It was a sad day.
In a few short hours, over 174 years of history had literally gone up in smoke, taking with it the livelihoods of many traders. The market hall was at the heart of the community for generations of people who not only shopped there, but socialised there too. So how difficult was it for people to start again and pick up the pieces?
Basically 0 income, you know, for a period of like 6 months. Myself, my father, I've got 4 brothers, they've all got families, they all need feeding, they've all got homes. You know, you think it's a lot of questions go through your mind because you just, you know, I suppose everyone in the market was in the same boat really.
From having a superb, thriving business, we didn't have anything left. We didn't have a knife, a saw, nothing. Everything went.
The things that struck me were the people that wouldn't see you, the customers that you'd see day to day, and suddenly you wouldn't see them anymore. You used to see them after the fire. A few days later, you'd meet them in the town, and they'd come and put their arms around you and say, "What on earth are we going to do now? Not what am I going to do, or what they're going to do, but what are we going to do?" You know, as though it was the centre of the community.
Do you go and get another job? Do you wait? All these questions are, you know, your life turned upside down really.
We opened up one of the tea rooms. We heard that was up for rent. We went seeing the landlord. My dad stepped in once again, put money up from the customers, who was absolutely brilliant. They emptied all the cupboards, sorted everything out, what we could use to run a cafe. They even turned up with money. You couldn't fault any of them, and they all come up and got stuck in.
After the fire, we got lots and lots of get well, good wishes cards, and people came in. There's been some nice comments in the local press.
We have a lock-up across the road that we use to have fridges in it. So within 10 days, we converted it into a shop. And we advertised in the local paper to say that we was delivering, and we had people phoning us up all day long. We was delivering meat till 8 o'clock at night, and then we decided we couldn't do that because we just went to the same places twice over. We decided then to ask the council could we open it and use it as a shop until we got back into the market.
Some people weren't insured, you know, some people were, some people, you know, it's a difficult time at the end of the day.
Insurance was the one thing that bailed us out of trouble.
And you must have wondered how it started. How did the fire begin?
Who knows? I think we've all had conversations. Everyone has their own reservations of what they think, but nothing true has come out to say this was the start, the predominant start of the fire. So who knows?
After the fire, where I was sat in the garden one day, I was thinking about some of the characters that used to work in the market, people like Jack Taylor and Arthur Marsh and people like that were, you'll never get them back, all those type of characters now.
These are nice, soft, chewy ones.
Yeah. When I did my national service in the Air Force, if anybody asked you where you came from, you'd say Ashton-under-Lyne. They'd say, where? Ashton-under-Lyne. Well, they'd heard of Ashton Pally and Ashton Market. And I thought, well, we've lost the Pally, we've lost the market, what's going to happen to Ashton? Everybody realised at the time how important it was, and they must do something about it and get it up and running again.
The local council and market committee had a mess on their hands. They had to think of a way of rebuilding the still smouldering rubble whilst also preventing shoppers from going elsewhere, and they had to do it quickly.
We started to think then, we can't just hang about and say, well, this is a tragedy, we've actually got to do something. And the almost immediate conclusion was we had to think about how we put things back together again and got back into business.
There was never any question of giving up on the market or anything like that. It was that important.
In my mind, I didn't think, ultimately, it's not my decision. It's for members, elected members, to decide on the future of a building like this. But in terms of the commercial viability of the town, it was clear that the Market Hall had to continue to be a Market Hall as soon as we could actively do something about it. The council set up advisory groups to help the traders. We had people here from the Inland Revenue, Customs and Excise relating to VAT, so we could give the best advice we could to them. Quite a number of traders, we arranged for them to set up on the outdoor temporarily while we got ourselves together to do something. Obviously, the rebuilding of this building wasn't going to happen in weeks or even months. However, almost immediately the council hunted for an appropriate site, and it was a car park behind the Market Hall, which was levelled and converted from a car park to the Phoenix Market Hall, 27,000 square feet of good quality retail in barely 15 weeks. Now that was a remarkable piece of engineering and architectural and surveying work, very impressive.
Goodness, so the fire was 24th of May 2004,
yep.
And then by when?
Early October we opened the Phoenix,
That's
the 15th
amazing.
I think it was, and quite a part of that had been taken actually identifying the site and getting ready to do the building. As I say, it was literally 15 weeks apart from being a car park to opening day.
Fortunately, credit to the council at the time, announced that they would get us a temporary facility within 4 months, and all credit to them, they did.
The local council did a fantastic job in getting us relocated within 6 months, but even within that 6 months, you know, your customers have gone elsewhere. You know, I mean, the market's convenient for everybody at the end of the day, you know, and I don't think people realised while it was here, or until it had gone, how convenient and how well established the market was. It's proved to be the hub of the town, really.
The Market Hall burnt on 25th of the 5th of 4, which was my birthday. I used to buy my Thomas trains there, now I can't. The Phoenix Market Hall is nice, but the Market Hall was better. I am waiting for the new Market Hall to be built.
Well, that was Connor Hand's poem that's impressed judges of a poetry competition held by the Tameside Advertiser. In fact, the judges were so impressed, the 9-year-old's been awarded a special prize.
Right, there you go. Right, okay, big smiles, here we go. Good stuff, on again. Good lad.
Connor was due to come to the indoor market on his birthday last year to buy Thomas the Tank Engine toys with his birthday money, but the fire had destroyed the stall where he usually bought them.
Connor represents a lot of people in this borough who had strong links to the Market Hall and don't want to see them broken, and we want to see that relationship rebuilt.
Last Wednesday was the anniversary of the fire and also Connor's birthday, and it seems his prize for his special poem will keep him smiling until his next birthday at least. This is Suzanne Bealey for Channel M News.
The building was 150, 160 yards further away from the outdoor market. than the original market hall, and there was the imposition of a huge, first of all, building site, which is what the old original market hall had become between the market ground and the Phoenix. And little by little, some of that footfall fell away, and it became quite a struggle for traders to stay in business. They weren't getting the level of footfall that they needed.
Well, this is, of course, what was that building site.
Yep.
When did work start on the new market hall?
The real building work started in 2007 and carried on through until November the 28th, 2008, when we reopened the building. The traders had a fair amount of say in what happened inside the building, and also we had a lot of consultation with the public, with disability groups and so on, to make sure that the aspirations of the people that would shop here would be met as well. Whilst the traders' views are important, the public's views are pretty important as well.
So on the 28th of November 2008, Ashton Market took its first breath in its new lease of life. And how pleased are the market traders of today?
The council have done an amazing job in getting this. It's nice, it's spacious, it's vibrant, it's light.
It's just fantastic. The market, everything's nice and clean, everything about it's good, and we're busy.
We're near the centre and that's what we needed. We was too far away before, but now you've got your constant turnover.
We've got all our old customers back, which is fantastic because how loyal is that at the end of the day? And we're experiencing new people coming in from other towns, which is obviously the attraction of the market hall, really.
We've increased our staff now to 14 staff with the Saturday girls, you know, so very good.
And behind us at the moment is the clock tower, which for 3 years people have turned the corner since the fire until the reopening and looked up to see what time it was, even though there was no clock in it. So deeply ingrained was the habit of people getting off the bus and looking up to see what time it was on the clock tower.
Look at the walls of the market. We've still retained the old walls. The fire did not chop all those down. It's only the interior that's new. So as you approach the market hall, you're virtually looking at the old market as it was before the fire.
Even on the day that we opened by 10:30, there was a tangible atmosphere in the hall, which can take months, if not years, to build sometimes, but it was there already within 2 hours of opening. The electricity between customers and traders, they were obviously delighted to be in each other's company again.
Now they've been in sort of 8 months or something like that. People are getting you know, how they used to have the stall before, putting their own stamp on the stalls, and it looks more of a market now than it did at first, because people are putting things on the sides of the shops, and you know, like a typical market it should be.
Even today we're almost 12 months now into the reopening of this market hall, and the comments are still the same, how much they enjoy coming into a nice, bright, clean environment.
We are trading, I'd say 80 to 90% up on what we used to do in the old market, which is tremendous.
A good mixture of units in food, and one houseware, one of this, one of that, not too many of the same thing. That's the answer.
And if anybody's got a problem, they come and tell you and you look after each other.
We never look back. It's been great.
You've got a lot of younger people now that are gradually learning about markets. They're used to shopping in the supermarkets, and that's where they do their shopping. But now they're coming back, and I think once the recession's gone, they will use the markets more.
The market hall does seem to come to life in recession, because people, they tighten the belts, they look after the pennies, and where best to get the bargains in the market hall.
A trust there that's not easily established, particularly in major shopping outlets in the 21st century, where you perhaps don't see the same person twice if you go in over a period of 4 or 5 weeks.
You see this when they have the farmers' market outside on a Sunday. You get sticks of celery with all the dirt, all the muck still on it. Ashton celery was famous all over the country for its quality. sprouts. They come and buy sprouts with on the stalks. You can't compare that to the supermarket things, and I think the younger families are getting used to learning to cook with these things and eat these things, and hopefully that's where the trend will go. I think it'll. I think the future's bright for Ashton Market.
There'll always be a future for people coming into the market, for markets, as long as they're well run and that the quality of choice at this level is there for them to come for.
And as long as that momentum is maintained, I see a very long future for this market hall, and for a lot of markets around the country. The idea that markets are dying is a long way from true.
Rise and shine, get your money out and put it in mine.
Councillor Quinn, obviously the events of May 2004 were, for so many people here, like losing a close friend, but it seems they were determined to restart the market that had been here for so many years. Can you explain to me how the place has become the centre of the community again?
Oh, absolutely, you're right. It was literally a period of mourning after 2004, and what was really exciting for me, clearly we had the reopening, and you expect a lot of enthusiasm, excitement around that. But you do wonder over that 4-year period, has the heart actually been taken out of the town? You can put the building back together, you can return the stall holders, but will the community who made this such an exciting, vibrant place return? And my goodness, they have returned in their numbers. The fishmongers, the bakers, not many candlestick makers around, but you know, the shoe repairs or the new shoes, every possible friend that they purchased of in the past, and that's the beauty of the market hall. And sometimes you can plan for it, you can do everything you can, but if people don't like what you're offering them, they won't turn up. Well, they must love what we're offering here in Ashton and the Ashton Market Hall, because they've turned up in their numbers.
It's great to hear that the present of the place is so popular. And what would you say the future holds for Ashton Market?
On the basis of the market hall being returned, it has a very, very strong future. We're now starting to concentrate on the outdoor market, so sometime over the next 12 to 18 months we expect to be bringing plans forward to revitalise the whole of the market grounds and turn the town hall, the market square and the market hall into a piazza, and really open it up and have a really exciting, again, destination which is around markets and the market retail. It's brilliant.
Exciting times. Councillor Quinn, thank you very much indeed. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Thanks very much for your time.
The market hall today is a happy, energetic place, filled with the same characters, all after their weekly shop or picking up a bargain. Well, that's all from me. Don't forget you can watch again at channelm.co.uk, and of course the market hall itself is always here, and I'm sure it will continue to be at the focal point, the heart of the community for many, many years to come, proving to one and all there will always be an Ashton Market. Bye-bye.